I'm just island boy. You're gonna keep that gun. I'll be just staring at the sun.
Assault, theft, fraud, DUI, breaking and entering, solicitation, armed robbery, shoplifting, aggravated assault on a police officer.
Mr. Squidward, I should kick your
What's going on, guys? It's Ninja. Today we're getting into the hybrid Sorc build. I know you guys have been waiting a little bit for this, but it's finally out. We got it. Hybrid Sorc is amazing. Holy crap, I love this new hybridization. So many wacky build ideas are coming to my brain, and this is the first one, and I love it. The burst on it is insane. As a quick reminder, timestamps are in the description, and if you want to see the hybrid Sorc in action 1vxing, link down below to the actual 1vx video. So, without delaying anymore, let's get right into it. Alright, so let's get into the stat sheet. So we have about 19k max magic, 26k max health, 25k max stam, 1300 magic recovery, 1200 stamina recovery unbuffed, and you can see the rest of the stats for yourself. 13 into magic, 6 into health, 45 into stamina. Using the Jewels of Misrule food. Usually, and before on my other stam sorcs, I use Tristat or Lava Foot, but since we're going hybrid, I wanted a little more magic recovery, and having a lot of max mag doesn't really get you back magic, and we can fill up that max mag elsewhere in some other stuff that we're going to get into. We're running the Atronach Mundus stone. You know, Serpent wasn't doing it for me, and we're also making up the stam recovery in another spot when we get into the sets. Stage 3 vampire necessary. I mean, you're in PvP, you're gonna be a vampire. So, moving on to the sets, what are we rocking? Front bar, we have mechanical acuity. Now, if you've been playing this game, then you know the set, you know what's happened to it. It used to be really good, then it got nerfed. Is it still good? Yes. It is still very, very good. On Stam Sorc, or, goddammit, on Hybrid Sorc, this feels like a very, very good offensive option. People are stacking really, really high health and, like, you know, high healing, and you're not going to get through that without an insane amount of burst. Everybody's unkillable god mode 1vx, okay? So if you want to burst them, you got to be able to remove their hairline without them being able to do anything about it. That's where acuity comes in. And on Hybrid Sorc, you have a lot of abilities that do a bunch of damage at the same time, and more than often, one of those things isn't going to crit. Like, for instance, if I do a crystal weapon and a heavy attack on this dummy right here, you can see that, you know, one thing didn't crit, right? And then more things didn't crit. Now some stuff's critting. Now we're critting a lot. Oh, something didn't crit again. And now we're not critting. Like, you can easily get that condition where you don't crit to get more crit when you're on a hybrid Sorc. And you have a lot of different sources dealing damage, you know. You can also not crit with, like, your Hurricane proccing on people. This can also tick up your acuity. It's a very, very good set, and I highly recommend you try it out. We've got a Nirnhone Mace, and we've got a charged offhand mace. Glyphs for these are, of course, Shock Glyph and Absorb Stamina. This applies Minor Breach, this applies Minor Vulnerability, giving you 5% damage increase and 3k armor penetration. You can run poisons if you want. I'm going for the most amount of bursts, so I'm not using poisons. On the back, we've got the Vadashran two-hander. Ooh boy. So, why aren't we going resto like all these other normies? Well, it wouldn't be a ninja build if we did what everybody else is doing, right? So, we're using Vadashran on the back. Another thing that, you know, I tried Essence. I tried an Essence Frustration Staff on the back, and Resto Staff is good, but Vadashran is a lot of extra damage. We're stacking on acuity, right? So we have a lot of crit chance, and this is a damage proc that also builds up your overall damage. This thing can hit anywhere between 3 to like 6k depending if it crits or not, and how many stacks you have. And when you're combining that with like 5 other things that do a lot of burst, it becomes an essential tool that helps you like completely erase somebody. I find it still really good. But how do you survive on Hybrid Sorc in this game without a resto staff, because everybody's going to be stacking resto and running a bunch of proc sets. How the hell do you survive on a stam Sorc? I said stam Sorc, but I mean hybrid Sorc. Jeez, I gotta get out of that. So, the second 5-piece set that we're running, we're running Balorg, should be no surprise, and we're running Essence Thief. So, beauty of this set, you can use it however the hell you want. And when I mean use it however you want, I mean that you can use it before you go in or after you go in for a burst combo. So, Acuity on its own, when you have a 100% crit chance and you got a bunch of different abilities firing at the same time, you can usually kill everybody. Like, you don't need another 5-piece really to pair with it if you want to burst a hairline. But if you have Essence Thief active, after you burst somebody's hairline, and you've got a rally that's about to go off and give you a big burst heal, if you run into your Essence Thief proc with that rally, then you're going to get 20k burst heal and then like a 5k burst heal from Essence Thief, jumping you up from 3k health all the way up to full. And that's really important on a glass cannon spec, and a spec that risks a lot for a lot of damage. Or you can use it before you go in for that 10% damage boost, and this also gives you 4,000 stamina every time that you pick it up, which is a lot. If you think about that, it's about 400 stam recovery, is what it's equivalent to if you can get it on cooldown. Obviously, in the real, gameplay, you're not gonna get it on cooldown. You're not. But it's still very good. It still keeps my stamina topped off, and that's why I can actually run the Atronach Stone instead of the Serpent, because I have Essence Thief giving me that stamina where I wouldn't be able to get it originally. And then we can put that extra Serpent Stone, turn it into mag recovery, stack it with Jewels of Misrule, throw on a tripod. You're good for magic, okay? You can spam basically whatever you want as long as it doesn't cost like 5k. Which we'll get into that a little bit more later. So Essence Thief, really good. You can swap this out with Rallying Cry if you want. I know that's the thing people are using. You can use Hue and Sunder. You can use Daedric Trickery even if you want some defense, because this build is pretty squishy, but we've got the speed, and I'm used to playing at a really high speed, so it works out for me very well. Balorg, yep. Highest burst damage set in the game, run it. We've got on 5 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light in all well fitted. And on the jewelry, we've got an infused necklace and 2 swift rings. On my Orc Stam Sorc, I still like 2 swift, but this is actually a dark elf. So Orc, you have that sprinting passive, so you don't technically need 2 swift, but on any other race, I really recommend having 2 swift. And since we're running Dark Elf, we also get 2k max magic in addition to our 2k stamina that we would originally get. So this extra magic is a lot of utility for us. That's why we can go Jewels of Misrule instead of Sugar Skulls. We ran Sugar Skulls originally to get that max mag, but if we get it from our race, then what's the point? We can just run a recovery food. That's why our max stats look decent with also, not bad recovery. Anyways, Dark Elf gives you 2k max mag, 2k max stam, 5k flame resist. I mean, it's cool. I don't really care about it that much, but it's cool. And 258 weapon and spell damage. So we've talked enough about the gear. How the hell does a hybrid Sorc work? Well, let's get into it. So first thing you're gonna notice is, what the fuck, Ninja has 2 executes on his bar. That's the first thing you're gonna notice probably, and it's gonna be kind of weird to explain it to you. So when you're doing your combo, how I have it set up right now, it's going to be, you hit them with your curse. I might as well just show it. You hit them with your curse, put on your Mage's Fury, Meteor Streak, Crystal Weapon, Heavy Attack Whirlwind. So what all that does, let's break that down a little bit. So what's going on, basically, is that you have your curse on them, and you have your fury. So the curse is going to go off, your meteor comes down, you streak through them. So your curse goes off, they take damage from the curse and the meteor. That takes them to about half health. Then you reapply your crystal weapon, right? Still have your crystal weapon up, and you hit them with a medium weave whirlwind. what's going to happen is that crystal weapon in medium weave is going to take them from like 50% to 30%. Then your whirlwind takes them from 30 down to like 10% or 5%. Sometimes it just outright kills the person. And then if your mage's fury is still active, then it takes you from 5 or 10% down to 0. So effectively this is a one-shot combo if you can land all the pieces of it, but there's a lot of pieces to land. Instead of Curse, you could run Daedric Tomb if you wanted to, but it's trickier to use and it costs a lot of mag. You're looking at 5.5k mag versus Curse, which is 3k mag. And on a build where you have, 1300 mag recovery and one piece of light, it's up to you, but it's a lot. You could run Magic Frag too if you want, but that's just weird. That's out of my pay grade. You could also run Bound Armaments if you want another delayed thing to throw into the combo somewhere. And so this is basically the front bar. I mean, it's pretty static. It's pretty nice. You can run Dawnbreaker instead of Meteor if you want. There's not a whole lot of flex on the front, but there is some flex on the back. So, first thing you're going to notice again, why am I running 2 sources of brutality? Well, we've got Crit Surge on. Crit Surge is very, very good with Acuity. Duh, because Acuity crits, and Crit Surge heals you when you crit. This spec is very squishy, so having any extra sources of healing coming in really helps. This kind of acts like what would be a rapid regen if we had a Resto Staff on. We can essentially pop this, go in, and get Vigor healing, and then lap it up with another Vigor before we do our burst combo to be extra tanky. And if our rally is on a low cooldown, it'll just go off on its own. I really like having a delayed burst heal. I know people that run Stam are like, oh, I hate rally, I wish I could use Breath of Life. Nah, I'm the opposite way. I love rally. And if I do want a burst heal, I always have Dark Deal to carry me. So you have Crit Surge for that extra bit of healing, you have Vigor, and you have your Hurricane. If you wanted to, you can make this the magic version of the armor buff. I don't think that would be too taxing at all. If you wanted to throw on Resto Staff, because I know that's a thing that people want to do, and the class is fairly squishy still. Basically what I recommend is you put Essence Thief Resto on the back, right? And then you change out 2 of these jewelry pieces for a Trainee and Markrin. What this will do is it'll give you that same weapon damage bonus you get from Vate, but no damage proc and extra armor, and then you can run a Resto Staff. And with Resto Staff, you don't need Rally, so you can swap it out with Combat Prayer. This is an extra burst heal that you can use. It gives you Minor Berserk and Minor Resolve. So going back, we have Rally here, and if you don't want Crit Surge, you're like, it's not really doing much for me, you can swap it out with Elude. You swap it out with Mist Form. I know that's weird, but I love Mist Form, so works for me. Getting into the champion points, first thing we have is Duelist Rebuff, Ironclad, Deadly Aim, and Master at Arms. Pretty standard. If you wanted to, you could swap out Duelist Rebuff with Focus Mending. I think Focus Mending probably is a little bit better, but I don't have enough gold to respec, so that's how fucking broke we are in 2022, boys. Let's get it. And then going to the red tree, we have Celerity, Restlessness, Pain's Refuge, and Slippery. If you wanted to, you could swap out Relentlessness with Sustained by Simping, Peace of Mind, or the one that gives you magic when you sprint, Refreshing Stride. This is also a very good one. So guys, that's basically the build. If you enjoyed it, got some cool ideas from it for your own builds, let me know by dropping a like and, show some support. That's basically it from me. Thank you guys for watching. The support means a lot to me. We're almost at 1K. It's a huge milestone for me, so I'm hype as hell for it. And yeah, that's all I got. Chowder.